I was one of those kids, right? You've heard of those people. I mean, I always knew what I wanted to do when I grew up. But I knew I wanted to be a pilot. I'm Patrick Burns. I've been a Delta pilot since February of 1999. So my plan was to go to the Navy Academy. I was going to be a naval aviator, and when I was a high school student, I remember having a hard time hitting a curveball, and I went to get my eyes checked, and sure enough, not only couldn't I hit a curveball, but I couldn't get a fly slot in the Navy, so kind of had to shift gears a little bit and kind of find out how to do it a different way. So I went to school at Embry-Riddle out on the Prescott campus, and I started off in the flight program, and in 15 minutes or so, I think I ran out of money. And after a little while, I ended up getting a degree in management, actually. While I was out there, I did finish my private pilot's license, but I was smart enough to know that if I had left college to go to flight school, I'd never go back to college. So I finished my college degree, and I flew after that. After graduation, I went down to the airport in Philadelphia, where I'm from, and I actually got hired on the ramp in Philly in September of '89. I was a below-wing ramp agent, so that, you know, everything you do on the ramp, loading bags, and various other sundry opportunities on the ramp. And Philly actually was a station that was small enough that I eventually got the opportunity to become a ticket agent, and then gate agent. I worked in the Sky Club, Crown Room back in the day, baggage service. When I got promoted to permanent or full-time employee, I ended up going to cabin service, and you get to know the airline pretty well from the inside of a LAV. Like I said, all those things, believe it or not, added to my resume in ways I never expected. But I ended up going to the res office in Dallas. You know, wherever there was flying opportunities, I took them. So I flight instructed for a while. You know, if I was working day shift at Delta, I'd fly at night, you know, doing some night freight. And I got to the point where there was more flying than I had time for, and that's when I had to make a tough decision, because I had to leave Delta if I was really going to pursue this career. At the time, that was really the only option. So reluctantly, after 5 or 6 years with the airline, I had to walk away with, you know, the hope of getting back. But that was the risk: is, you know, how bad do I want this flying career, and what was I willing to give up to get it? So when I left Delta, I ended up flying freight full-time as a freight operator out of Love Field in Dallas, and then I got hired by the regional airlines, and then reapplied off the street once I had enough time to be competitive. Luckily got a call back, and when I went in to interview for Delta that second time, I got that job again, and I'll say that I kind of grew up at Delta, and so coming home was a natural fit for me. And because I knew the culture and I knew the people, it was where I was most comfortable. And you see those people like me that have a glint in their eye. You know, you get that fly bug. You know, once you're bit, it's tough to shake. The challenge that I had, the challenge that a lot of people before me had, was if you wanted to get back to the cockpit, there really was no option to stick around. And if the Propel program was an option for me, what that would have done was still let me go out and get that experience that's required to get back here to be, you know, a qualified Delta pilot. So I think the Propel program would have made it easier for me personally, and would have made it easier for my family to kind of help me see that dream through.
Do you feel like you have the best job in the world?
Absolutely the best job in the world. My hobby's my job. That's the best job in the world.
Hi, I'm Joanne Smith, your head of HR.
And I'm Captain Steve Dixon, Senior Vice President, Flight Operations. Many of you may be just like Captain Burns. You've worked for Delta for a while now, but you always had that dream of becoming a Delta pilot.
We know that Delta's 80,000 employees are the very best in the business. That's why we think it's a good idea to bring this very unique opportunity to you.
We're calling it Delta Propel, and for the first time ever, it offers employees from any division the opportunity to apply for a program that puts you on a defined path to become a Delta pilot. Here's how it works. Applicants who qualify are employees in good standing, having at least 3 years with Delta and a 4-year college degree. In addition to other minimum requirements, you should already have your private pilot's license, a minimum of 100 hours flight time in fixed-wing aircraft, and have a current biennial flight review. Candidates who qualify must then complete an application, interview, and complete a series of current Delta pilot selection tests before being considered for acceptance into the program.
A limited number of positions are available, but those who are accepted will be given a qualified job offer with Delta Airlines. This means that if every step of the program is completed successfully, you'll earn your wings as a Delta pilot. The defined pathway and timeline includes flight training at one of the nation's leading flight training providers, earning ATP minimums as a flight instructor, and building your experience as a pilot for one of our Delta Connection carriers before returning back to Delta as a new hire pilot. During the program, a leave of absence will be granted and you'll maintain your date of hire for vacation and past benefits.
The best thing about this program is that not only will you have a defined path with Delta, but you'll also have the support of our flight operations team along the way. You'll be assigned an active Delta pilot mentor, and you'll attend Delta-sponsored events to further strengthen your knowledge of the profession and our industry.
We know this program will be a success because we know the type of people who work for Delta: committed, value-oriented, driven employees who have made Delta the leading brand it is today. We can't wait to see some of you follow your dream of becoming a Delta pilot. For more specifics about the program, be sure to visit propel.delta.com today or visit the Propel page on DeltaNet.